Welcome back to another edition of Stand on Guard. I'm your host, David Krayden. Welcome back. And we're talking World Economic Forum again today. We'll be right back.
So we are in a very precarious position in this country. We need political change, but we also need the resolve to resist.
Yes, and like Sasha the Cat demonstrates, please ring that bell. Like this broadcast as soon as you can, because we got to beat the YouTube algorithm. And I think we're getting there, slowly but surely. But we're only getting there because of your wonderful support. Thank you for supporting the station. We're zooming right past 10,000, 15,000 members. We're headed towards 20,000. And I thank you so much for watching the broadcasts. And the cat is doing okay. I know some of you have inquired. I mentioned that she was having some health issues. Sasha's doing okay, and she's very much a part of this broadcast. So many people say they love the cat. So thank you for sharing that with us. We're going to be talking with the World Economic Forum today. And of course, it's meeting in Davos all week. But before we get there, I've got some good news for you. And I just about forgot. The Krayden's Right to Stand on Guard store. Here it is, www.standonguardstore. It is available. It is here. T-shirts, black and white, with resolve to resist or think while it's still legal. $35, all sizes. And we have the hoodie, black, resolve to resist, and think while it's still legal. Now, you can also access the store from the YouTube page. Go to the top of the page and click on store. Yeah, couldn't be more obvious. So like I say, $35 for the t-shirts, $55 for the hoodie sweatshirts. Have a look today. We didn't expect to be up operating so quickly, but it's a going concern. So, and tell us if you have any problems with the site, if it's not easy to navigate. Any comments? If you like the material, if you think we should be selling other things, go ahead. Make my day. Comment. Tell us how we're doing. You'll love to comment on the show, and I appreciate it. And I do try to get back to people when we have the time. And I'm going to be looking at the comments from the show today. And thank you for watching. So, what's going on in Davos? Well, we've got the usual stuff coming from the World Economic Forum and its chairman and founder, Klaus Schwab. Let's listen to what Klaus is talking about, because it's all about trust this year. Yes, all about trust. And let's
have a commitment to action, to belief, to hope. To achieve this, we must rediscover and embrace the narrative that has driven humanity since its inception, acting as trustees for a better future. This narrative isn't about short-term gains or individual successes. It is about stewardship, about preserving and enhancing our world for current and future generations.
I'm just going to stop you there for a sec, Klaus. Who elected this guy to be our trustee? Who elected the World Economic Forum to be stewards of anything? I mean, who does this guy think he is? And why does he think the world has to listen to the WEF? That they are in a position to dictate the terms of our future? It's the arrogance. The assumption is just enormous. But this guy just goes on and on telling you that he has the right to govern your society. Nobody put this guy in. He's a self-appointed dictator.
It is about understanding that our actions today have far-reaching consequences tomorrow. The concept of trust and trusteeship compels us to think beyond borders and beyond our lifetimes. It encourages collaboration over competition, sustainability over expediency, and empathy over apathy. As trustees of the future, we are responsible for advancing a world which is richer in possibilities, more equitable in opportunities, and more secure in its foundations.
All right. Have you ever heard such double talk? It's going to emphasize this new world order is going to emphasize equity and something richer in what? Certainly not in resources, certainly not in the money in your pocket. They are going to be richer. The elites are going to be richer. Let's listen to there he goes on again about trust, though. We've got to trust, Klaus. We have to trust the World Economic Forum. And listen to his conclusion. This is from Monday's speech, by the way. This is kicked off the Davos convention on Monday. And this is how he concluded his speech.
In conclusion, trust is a fundamental pillar of our social, economic, and political lives. It is vital for cooperation, social cohesion, and effectively functioning institutions. To rebuild trust, there is a fundamental need to embody trusteeship, which means to care for the greater good. Let's use this annual meeting to rebuild trust by exercising our trusteeship individually and collectively for safeguarding the future of humanity and nature. Thank you.
So there he goes again. Trust and trusteeship. They're in this for the global good. They're in it for everybody's benefit. And of course, if you believe that, you'll be buying the Brooklyn Bridge too. This is just such utter tripe. But this is what he peddles. And this is what he marches out the same talking points every year. But why is he emphasizing trust? Could it be that in that head of his, where he imagines all kinds of incredible things happening to you, is it possible he's got the message that we don't trust him and we don't trust the WEF and we don't trust what these guys are up to every year in Davos, Switzerland, because they're very tight-lipped outside. And what you get in these conferences that go on throughout the day are the same machinations that go on every year. But clearly, he thinks we've lost some trust. I wonder why we don't trust him. Maybe because he said things like this. This is the real Klaus Schwab.
Prepare for a more angry world, and how to prepare. It means to take the necessary action to create a fairer world. And I see the need for action. I see the need for a great reset.
Yeah, there's that great reset. Now, you talk about the great reset, and the first thing you're going to hear from the apologists for the WEF is that that's a conspiracy theory. What's the great reset? Where does that come from? You just heard it. It came from the mouth of Klaus Schwab. And what is the great reset? It means basically the elimination of the free market economy and a lot of other things. The elimination of normal cities that you can leave means the creation of 15-minute cities where you can never even imagine going on vacation from. It means eating insects, and we'll get to that in a minute. It means being poor and owning nothing. That's the great reset. And of course, you'll hear it again and again and again. And if you think that this is in any ways, you remember this? Now that's not a parody. That is a image from the World Economic Forum. You can see in the top right-hand corner of that picture, World Economic Forum. That's from their website. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. I don't know anybody who owns nothing and is happy about being in that circumstance. So that's rubbish. But this is what they're selling. What else are they selling? Yes, here it is. The world must, to achieve a better outcome, the world must act jointly and swiftly to revamp all aspects of our societies and economies, from education to social contracts and working conditions. Every country from the United States to China must participate, and every industry from oil and gas to tech must be transformed. In short, we need a great reset of capitalism. That's called communism. But of course, it's going to be a command style of communism where the elites get enriched and the masses stay poor. The standard of living declines and continues to decline. That's what the WEF is all about. And that's what the Great Reset is. You own nothing, but you're all equal in your poverty, except of those elites who have to bend the rules and have to, of course, have a massive carbon footprint by jet setting around the world, attending these oh so necessary conferences, wining and dining, and the fellowship of other elites. But that's allowed for those people because they have such a burden on in their lives doing all of this for you. So you can stay poor and they can stay rich and elite. And it's really that simple. It really is that simple. Let's hear some more about what Klaus Schwab really is all about.
Crossroad. There are so many threats, so many risks, and if we don't get them under control, we risk a kind of explosive situation.
So that was 2019, just on the cusp of the COVID-19 pandemic. And boy, did that organization and its allied governments around the world use that crisis, that emergency, for their own ends. They did not let that catastrophe go to waste. They exploited it to take away our freedoms, to lock down economies, and to force a vaccine on everybody who expected to work, to visit their parents, to travel, or just to live without being harassed. So that's what they achieved. And they use that crisis and they'll use anything else that comes along to take your freedom away because we can't let people just react on their own. The WEF has to be the referee. They have to be the ones making the decisions and making the rules, setting the rules. And it's out of the mouth of Klaus Schwab. What else has he said?
I'm very proud of now the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina, and so on, that we penetrate the cabinets. So yesterday I was at a reception for Prime Minister Trudeau, and I know that half of this cabinet, or even more, half of this cabinet, are for our actually young global leaders of the World Economic Forum.
Now, isn't that heartening? By Klaus Schwab's estimate, not only is Justin Trudeau in his pocket, but half the cabinet is too. He just said it. He says it publicly. No conspiracy theory here, folks. No conspiracy theory here. And of course, we know Justin Trudeau's been there twice. He was a keynote speaker after becoming prime minister. He was there in 2016 as a keynote speaker. There he is, having a jolly good time at the WEF. And he's so at home there with the other narcissistic elites, and that is what Justin Trudeau, of course, is all about. And if you think Klaus Schwab hasn't been outrageous enough, just listen him how he talks about control.
He imagines that in 10 years when we are sitting here, we have an implant in our brains, and I can immediately feel, because you all will have implants, and we measure your brain waves, and I can immediately tell you how the people react, or I can feel how the people react
What can you
to
say
your
about that?
answers. Is it imaginable?
Wow. W-O-W exclamation mark. I'm not sure if the guy he's talking to here, who I thought at first was Justin Trudeau during his bearded phase, I'm not sure if he's agreeing with him or is shocked that this lunatic next to him wants to control your brain waves, wants to know what you're thinking the same time you're thinking it so he can anticipate what he's going to do to you. It's all part of control, isn't it? So therefore, why do we need to vote if Klaus Schwab already knows how you're going to vote? Klaus Schwab already knows what your feelings are on a particular issue. You don't have to express that. He's reading your mind. Now, this is frightening because, of course, in the first place, what business is it of this guy, of this power mad old man? What business is it of his, what I'm thinking and what you're thinking? I mean, thank God we've got a conservative leader in Canada who at least says he wants his party to be known as the mind your own business party, because Klaus Schwab is the exact opposite of that, isn't he? He is the I'm your business. Your business is my business. That's the party he's controlling. Remember I mentioned he wants you to eat insects? You think, oh, come on. What kind of an idiot would suggest you're going to be eating insects for your protein needs? No more T-bone steaks. Forget the barbecue chicken. Lamb is out too. What's he got? Yeah. Here's another slide from the World Economic Forum. Once again, not conspiracy theories, is it? No, this is from their own website. Why we need to give insects the role they deserve. They deserve? What? They feel left out in our food systems. Yeah, that's what it looks like. You're going to be eating worms, beetles, cockroaches, maybe? Yes. Oh, it's all good and it's all nutritious. The man really is beyond the pale. And that is probably the nicest way I can put it. But it is absolutely outrageous. But that's what he's got planned for you. And that's what they're discussing. Yeah, they're a little worried right now, and that's why they're talking about trust and how they want to be your trustee. Kind of like, a role you might get in prison, where they allow you to be a trustee. They want you to allow them to be our trustees. They want you to give them your affirmation, your approval to rule our lives. And that's what this is all about. I'll have more to say about Klaus Schwab in a minute, but I want to play this interesting clip. I played a bit of this clip the other day, and this is Pierre Poilievre out on the hustings. There's no election campaign, but he's out selling axe the tax, the elimination of the carbon tax. Great. Well, Trudeau is having a wonderful time in Jamaica and is off to other warmer climes this month. Pierre Poilievre is out there in the cold talking to people about the carbon tax and the horrible effect it has on the entire economy. But he was asked some interesting questions, and I want you to listen to this because this gives me reason for hope.
Your latest slogan is mind your own business.
Yeah.
Does that mean less government is good government, sir?
Yes.
I have a follow-up to that.
All right.
The follow-up to that is, what about all the foreign entities that have been, for decades, influencing and lobbying our country to basically destroy our industries, our natural resource industries, and so on and so forth?
Yes.
Do they not need to be put on warning to say, step back and let a sovereign nation dictate their own directions?
Yes, absolutely. There are foreign interests that are acting against Canada that want to shut down our resource sector and make us more dependent on the rest of the world. Think of this. We now know that China has interfered. This is not Pierre Poilievre making an allegation. This is CSIS. CSIS documents leaked to the media show that China has interfered in 2 successive elections to help Justin Trudeau win. Well, why would they want Trudeau and not Conservatives? Well, first, he says he admires their basic Chinese communist dictatorship. Second, he wants to shut down our resource and manufacturing sectors and ship the jobs over to China. Even this electric car mandate. Imagine if they were in Alberta today, they were driving just electric cars. They'd all be frozen dead on the side of the highway. But
Gotta make a comment there. Yeah, exactly. And here we got Stephen Guilbeault, our Minister of the Environment and Climate Change, doing car commercials for electric cars, which he says, that's all you're ever going to need. They're going to replace your gas-powered cars completely by 2030. It's the magic date. That's 2035, actually. But 2030, I think we'll have, 60% of them of gas-powered cars are off the road, 100% by 2035. This is insanity. Because as Poilievre is saying here, yes, the batteries wouldn't work in these temperatures. And I have talked to people who say that if you don't recharge the thing overnight, it's constantly running out of power. You cannot take it on long trips. You cannot find generating stations anywhere to charge them anyway. And even when you do, they're not charging the battery to its full power. So you're lucky if you get home again. These are one of the worst ideas that have ever come across a government's desk. And the Trudeau government is selling electric cars as a panacea. And it is absolute nonsense because they don't work. And the batteries are hard to replace. The materials to make the batteries require child labor, or at least child labor is being used in the process. So everything is wrong about this. And thank God Poilievre is actually talking like this. Because we're not hearing any of this from the Liberals or the NDP.
not only that, the batteries are all refined in China. So we're going to be sending them our money and our jobs while we put our working class people, our miners, our pipe fitters, our tradesmen out on the street and in the cold. So, of course, that's why they want Trudeau in, because he's good for their economy and terrible for ours. Second, we have these powerful American interest groups that want to shut down pipelines and energy sectors so that we're forced to give our oil to the Americans at a discount and buy it back at a higher price. So that's good for the Americans, terrible for us. But I'm gonna crack down on that. I'm also going to ban all my ministers from any involvement in the World Economic Forum. We're not working for the World Economic Forum. We're working for the people here in this country.
Right.
We're going to stand up for the common people, the common sense of the common people, united for our common home. Let's bring it home.
Thank you.
Dude, isn't that refreshing? No, I don't work for the Conservative Party or Pierre Poilievre. I'm very critical of Pierre Poilievre when it comes to Ukraine and some other issues. But when he speaks the truth about the environment, about climate change, about the economy, I'm applauding. And when he says his cabinet ministers and his MPs are not going to be going to Davos to attend the World Economic Forum conference, good for him. We don't work for Davos. We don't work for the WEF. Yeah, we should have a government working for Canadians and for Canada, not for the globalists. The globalists don't care if you freeze this winter or if you starve. If your diet is reduced to eating cockroaches, they don't care at all. As long as they are in control of the mess they've created. They're creating chaos everywhere. They're creating chaos every day so they can find an excuse to restore order, the new world order. That's what they're all about. Poilievre gets it. Maxime Bernier, People's Party of Canada, he gets it, and he's a friend of mine. And libertarians understand it. Small C conservatives understand it. Even some old-fashioned liberals understand it. A lot of former MPs who are no longer in the House of Commons couldn't sit with a Trudeau government because they don't agree with the socialism and the environmental extremism Justin Trudeau is pushing on Canadians. They don't agree with it. So there is a vast and growing alliance of common sense Canadians in various parties who want Justin Trudeau gone, who want the Liberal government of Justin Trudeau out. And we've got to do that. We've got to work towards that end. We've got potentially a year and a half left of this Trudeau government. That's way too long. So I'm encouraging opposition MPs from every party to put Canada first, not the globalists, not the WEF, not even your own interests, but put Canada first, put Canadians first, and fight for Canada. I don't care what party you're sitting in the House of Commons, put Canada first and stop propping up Justin Trudeau and his corrupt, devious, evil government. Because it is up to no good. It's aligned with Klaus Schwab and the WEF. Klaus Schwab said that. He's penetrated our cabinet with Justin Trudeau, and other democratic governments around the world have been penetrated by the WEF. What are they penetrated for? So they can collude, so they can work towards an objective, and that's putting the globalists in charge. Why do you think we are all pursuing like agenda in the political process right now? United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, United Kingdom, Ireland, all of these countries with democratic history, strong democratic traditions, democratic governments. All of these countries are pursuing authoritarian ends and goals right now, especially when it comes to censorship. The censorship is alive and well in all of these countries. Trudeau's pushing it in this country with the Online Safety Act and 2 other bills that have already been passed that are making it difficult for independent media to express truth, to express dissenting opinion on the internet. And the worst will come if the Online Safety Act is introduced and passed by Parliament, because it will ban misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation without even bothering to define what those terms mean. That's not important. What's important is shutting down free speech. That's what's important to the Trudeau government, and that's what's coming. And that's part of the globalist agenda, too. They don't want you criticizing Klaus Schwab. They don't want you second guessing what these trustees are doing for you. They don't want you second guessing their dietary changes that they have planned for you, or the fact that you won't be able to drive a car, or you won't be able to live in a normal city that you can leave at any time. You won't be able to travel. You won't own anything, and your house will be about the size of a cardboard box that homeless people live in. That's what they imagine for you. But don't worry, you'll be happy. It's a pipe dream. Yeah, and there'll probably be lots of drugs available, because that'll be the only escape from the grinding poverty and misery that WEF has planned for you and has planned for the world. We'll be continuing to watch the rest of the WEF conference at Davos. There are some reporters on the scene who are asking some good questions. Usually, it's the mainstream media asking the same stupid questions or not asking the right questions. But we do have some reporters on scene this year who are asking good, challenging questions, because this organization needs to be stopped. And it's nobody elected it to make decisions for any of us. They are unelected, and they're pretty geared towards control. That's all they're about. So thank you for watching today. It's been a pleasure. Remember to check out the Krayden'S Right store, the Stand on Guard store, www.standonguard.store. And I'll put it up again in case you missed it. We're really proud of this. Have a look at it. Like I say, you can find it on YouTube at the top of the page under store. But have a look at the products we sell. 35 for the t-shirt, 55 for the sweatshirt hoodie. And I love these slogans. Have a look. Invite you to comment, and we'll be back again tomorrow with more information that you need to know. Thanks for watching today, folks.